Hello everybody, welcome back to Life Stories. My name is Trent, and I hope you're all doing awesome as always. Today, as promised in our last Entitled Parents episode, we got the next installment of My Entitled Mother Costs Herself Everything. This is part 3, and without further ado, let's get started. Act 3, The Sister. My dad and sister suddenly stopped seeing eye to eye, which was kinda surprising to me. As I was a mama's boy, she was a daddy's girl. I honestly didn't know what changed. I think it was a mix of my sister's adolescence and my dad coping with the divorce. My sister was constantly throwing hissy fits and not wanting to accept dad's side of the story. I don't know what her deal was. I never bothered arguing back with my parents when I was getting punished because I knew inside I was in the wrong. Such as me getting my Xbox taken away when my grades were bad, etc. I think she was spoiled growing up. She had the bigger bedroom, the big TV, whatever phone she wanted, a bunk bed, despite us not sharing a room, and her being the only one occupying it, and even a laptop. When Mom and Dad divorced, Dad gave her the master bedroom in the place he got when he moved out, which had a huge bathroom with speakers in the ceiling. By this point, Mom was no longer living on the old farm. In fact, my grandmother, her mother, was lending her a house to live in. I didn't have her bedroom or anything. Meanwhile, I got the smallest room in the house. This upset me, not because, "Oh my god, Dad, give me expensive stuff." It was the blatant favoritism. Whenever I brought it up with Dad as to why she was getting all the nice stuff, he always responded, "You gotta treat girls a little more nicely." Which I can get, but this is more than just more nicely. This is spoiling. I didn't give a damn whether my dad started giving me new expensive stuff. That's not what it was about. I just didn't understand why Dad seemed to pick her so much over me. I don't know if he wanted to give her more love since the divorce was giving her a hard time or what. To be honest, I know Dad shouldn't pick one of us over the other. I know I shouldn't expect that of him, and I didn't. It was a matter of that there was no choice to be made, but it felt like he picked my sister anyway. I know today that's not likely what it was. Maybe it was self-consciousness. Maybe he felt like his relationship with his daughter was falling apart, and he was trying to win her love with materialistic things. I'm not sure. I don't want to ask him today and let slip that I felt like he picked a favorite child. For clarification, like I said, I don't give a damn that my dad wasn't giving me expensive things. That wasn't my issue. My issue was that it felt like blatant favoritism for my sister. I just wanted to repeat that in case anyone read this as, "Daddy isn't buying me expensive gifts." Because I know that there will be those illiterate people that will read it like that. Better to say it twice for those in the back, hey? Anyway, back to the story. One day, after a particularly bad fight between the two, she told me that Dad was the one doing drugs, not Mom. It didn't register at the time, but it seems like Mom got to her. I guess she and Mom had been texting. She seems to believe Mom's side over Dad's, despite everything Dad has to prove his side. My sister has always been kind of a know-it-all. Even today, she'll be 24 in a month and will act like a child if she's proven wrong. She never could admit she was wrong. And even today, in the new crap storm she's gotten herself in, she'll still find a way to blame what happened to her on Dad. Now that I think about it, as I type this, maybe my sister could qualify as an entitled parent. Oh, oopsie, spoilers. We'll get to that, believe me, it's no surprise. One day, my sister meets a boy. As far as I'm aware, he's still a cool bro. He doesn't really have much relevance within the story. One day, my dad takes my sister to Mom's. All of a sudden, she wants to be at Mom's after months of not wanting to see her. I guess it makes sense considering the circumstances. Dad probably thought it could be where she could cool things off since things were heated between him and her. She went to Mom's, who ended up taking her to this boy's house where she stayed the night. Dad caught wind of this, as someone he knew saw her with this boy and brought it up. I think. I'm still not clear on how he found out. So he calls Mom and asks her to put my sister on the phone. Mom plays dumb and says sister is with her. Dad calls BS and tells her to put my sister on the phone, and Mom changes her story. "Well, she may be out with the boy right now. She'll be back later." May be out with a boy right now. How did you not know where our daughter is? I just dropped her off with you. I don't know what the big deal is. Dad is pissed. Dad asks where they are, and Mom continues to play dumb, saying, I thought you knew. Dad hangs up, then calls my sister. He asks where she's at, and she says she's at Mom's. Boom. Lie caught. Dad can't take it anymore at this point. He tells her that if she thinks she can scheme with Mom to lie to him, then she can stay with Mom. This is when she calls me up and asks me to help him pack up her things. After loading everything up, we take off into the dead of night, drop everything off in Mom's backyard, shoot her a text, then take off like ninjas. Nobody even knew we were there until we sent that text. Dad decides to give my sister the same treatment he gave Mom, the list. Gave her a perfectly sensible list to follow if she wanted a chance to have a relationship with Dad. Good grades, don't lie, no going out with friends anymore, and no phone. And a few other things I can't remember. All I know was thinking, well shoot, I could follow this list. Although I do think this is where Dad kinda messed up. I mean, he basically told her, you're going to be punished if you come back to me, which pretty much meant she was staying with Mom. It was either Dad messed up or I'm remembering the list wrong. Either way, my sister for sure wasn't coming back. Regardless, just like my dad did with my mother, he predicted what would happen to her if she didn't get her stuff together. He said she was going to become a teen mom, wasn't going to do anything to raise her kids, and basically mess up her future. What do you know? Dad was right. A year later, my sister is telling me that she's pregnant. There's not a lot that happens in these next few years throughout my high school life, but maybe 2 years after her first kid, she has a second child with another baby daddy. Then, about 9 to 10 months ago, she has a third child with another baby daddy. During this time, throughout all this, she eventually started talking to my dad again, who remarried to a woman much more worthy of being called a mother. She, the stepmother, and Dad talked to my sister about what she can do to make things easier for herself. By this time, she was on kid number 2. They told her if she went to college to learn a trade or something that could land her a good-paying job. That the colleges around here will help single mothers by providing daycares for their children while the parents go to school. This went in one ear and out the other. At this time, she and I were talking occasionally. We had a pretty meh relationship. We got along fine. One night, I was texting her and told her about the college daycare situation my parents told her about. She was shocked, told me that if she knew that, she would have considered it sooner. Despite the fact that the only reason I knew about the college daycare was because I was in the room when they told her about it. She always blew them off, and anyone else who dared criticized her life decisions, my grandmother on my mother's side included. I would see her post about a new tattoo on Snapchat. Then the very next freaking snap, she'd be complaining about being too broke. Then, the next day, she snapped. 45 minutes late for work, about to get chewed out by my boss. Haha, hashtag mom life. I usually avoided criticizing her crappy choices because I know damn well how she'd react. But one day she was venting about a fight her and her dad had. She told me what he said, and I knew exactly what he meant from her words of the story. He said, "Those kids aren't going to have the lives they deserve because of you." Which really means, because you keep on pussyfooting around, being lazy, making excuses, those kids won't have the lives that they deserve. He followed up with that statement because it did come across as harsh, but Sis kinda left that part out. He said that it was her fault, because it was. She's perfectly capable of giving those kids the lives they deserve, but she does jack about it. She hasn't even tried getting child support from any of the fathers because she'd feel bad about it. She wouldn't even have to work if she was getting child support from all the fathers. The first child's father is actually a freaking beast. He took up full responsibility and pounces on any opportunity to see and help take care of this child. The rest are deadbeats. The way the argument started was because my sister was asking for gas money from my dad, which my dad refused. My sister's a big girl now, and she can handle it herself. Plus, if she can load herself up with piercings, tattoos, and pedicures, she can afford gas. To which she threw out this line. Wow, I guess I shouldn't have expected a little help from my own father. When all this went down, I had actually just started listening to Reddit stories while I'm working. So when I heard she said that, the first thing that crossed my mind was, is my sister a choosing beggar? Best part? Dad wasn't the one who told me she said that the first time. She was. She didn't seem to realize Dad has no obligation to help her because we're family. Later, Dad told me that's what she said, and I showed him her text message to me. At this point, I couldn't keep quiet anymore. I finally told her that I too had a problem with her crappy choices. I broke down everything I'd seen with her SC. All of her dumb choices, choosing to get her nails done for $50 for both her and one of her kids, etc. To which she wrote me a book making excuse after excuse, dropping bombs like, "Why are all of you so judgmental of me?" and "I'm a great mother." And of course, "None of you understand how hard it is being a single mother." To which she got her last laugh in and blocked me. I then later heard she made a post about me online. My name wasn't dropped or anything. I wasn't the only one it was directed at either. She basically made all the same excuses as she did to me in the post. I couldn't see it, but my stepmom did. About a month later, she unblocked me and wished me a happy birthday. We didn't really talk much. We just left it at that. Ain't spoken to her since. Whew, that was a super long one, and as you might expect, we're out of time for today's episode. But don't you worry, next Entitled Parents, as it's been for the last couple episodes, we will follow up with part 4 of this series. So, once again, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. My name is Trent. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Life Stories so you don't miss any of the Reddit content we have coming your way, and I hope to see you guys soon.